So before we jump into today's video, I just wanted to talk about my hair for a second because I love my new haircut. I am obsessed with it. You know, my hair was just getting to the point to where whenever I was growing it out for my wedding, after my wedding, I was just like, oh my God, it's so annoying, you know? Like, I was so motivated to have super long hair for my wedding just to make it easier on my hairstylist whenever she was doing my updo. But after my wedding, I was like, oh, I was so annoyed with how long my hair was, and it had no layers in it. Every single time that I tried to curl my hair, it was just so annoying and obnoxious. So I decided to go with something just really cute and flirty, and also something that would be easy, and I love it. I just feel like it gives my face a whole new shape, and it's super easy to do. It literally took me like 15 minutes to curl my hair, and whenever my hair stylist was cutting my hair and whenever she blow dried it, it was like literally took 10 minutes, which for me, after having super long hair, it was like incredible. I was like, okay, I'm sold. I'm already in love with my haircut just because of that reason. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of, you know, show you guys what it looks like. It has a lot of like longer blunt layers in the back, and then the front we did a little bit of kind of like a long side sweep bang, but I love it. I'm super excited. But now let's go ahead and get into the purpose of this video. Okay, so for today's video, I decided to do another foundation demonstration and review for you. I know that this foundation has been out for a little while, but I went through my videos recently and I just tried to see like what people seem to gravitate towards the most. So I looked at my most viewed videos, and a lot of them are whenever I do like demonstrations of products for you guys and stuff like that. And I totally get it. It makes sense because whenever I am trying to find a new foundation or, you know, a new staple product, I really like to do some research and see how it works for other people, and I figured I would do that for you guys today. So today I'm going to be doing a little review and a demonstration video for you of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Foundation. Oh my gosh, that was a mouthful. But it is this foundation right here. It's been out for, I think, a couple of months now. Honestly, I don't remember the exact release date, but oh my God, you guys, like I am obsessed with this foundation. It's easily become my #1, which is so freaking crazy to me. I know if you guys have been around my channel for a really long time, my Tarte foundation that is just the 12-hour wear, it's their original foundation, was my ride or die for like the longest time. But this one, you guys, oh, I love it so much, and this is the reason why. So basically, whenever I was getting married, I wasn't really loving any of my foundations on my skin during that time of the year. I don't know what was going on with my skin, but none of the foundations were sitting right and none of my colors were working for me anymore. So I talked to one of my girlfriends who, like every single day, I just noticed she had like flawless skin. Like I knew she had foundation on, but her foundation was just totally flawless. So I asked her what it was, and she told me it was this, and she said that she absolutely loved it and I had to give it a try. So a couple of days before my wedding, I was like, oh my God, you guys, I was such a bad bride. But I tried this foundation a couple of days before my wedding, and then I just decided to go with it and give it a shot. And on my wedding day, this stuff lasted from 10 in the morning whenever I applied my foundation to 10 o'clock at night, and it still looked flawless. And it wasn't a foundation where I felt like I had something sitting on top of my skin at the end of the night. You know, whenever you get home after going out to the club or just after work and you've had like your heavier foundation on your skin and you're just like, oh my God, get it off of me. Well, that's normally how I feel at the end of the day anytime I wear a foundation, but not this one. Literally 12 hours of wearing this foundation and it didn't bother me. The day after I took my foundation off that night, and then the day after, my skin was still flawless. It was beautiful. I didn't have any breakouts. And normally whenever I wear foundation for a really long period of time like that, I will have breakouts. It's just something that my skin does because I do have very large pores and it tends to soak up all of the junk that is in the product. So that being said, I love it for that reason. Another reason that I absolutely love this foundation is that I get really oily in my T-zone and I'm also super dry. So I obviously have combination skin. So I will literally be able to like pick off flakes of skin whenever my skin is feeling super dry. However, my T-zone does get really, really oily throughout the day. That's just kind of what my skin does. So this foundation is amazing because I don't know what it is. I've been using the same exact primers that I use with all of my other foundations, but for this specific one, it sits on my skin all day beautifully. I don't notice those chunks of skin that I'm having to like peel off throughout the day or stuff like that. It really hydrates the skin, but it doesn't make it too hydrated to where you get super oily. If you are really oily, this would be a great foundation for you. It just sits flawlessly on the skin. Like, I'm obsessed with it. It's so freaking incredible. And like I said, it doesn't brick me out. It's just awesome. And I know that they have a ton of different colors and shades and stuff like that. And they have like in-between shades too, which I really, really appreciate, especially for someone who doesn't self-tan. I'm either my skin tone or I went to the beach or something like that. And so they have those in-between shades whenever you're not one shade or the other. So like, for example, this one is 2.0. And so if I was a little bit more tan, I would do like the 2.5 or the 3.0. So there's shades that are in between. I just love it. And I think that the packaging is super sleek. It's lightweight, but it's still heavy duty. It's a 2-layered plastic. And then you have the really nice silver cap up here, and it is a pump, which I personally think is awesome. I love having a pump on all my products. It just makes it easier for sanitary purposes, and also it makes it easier just to apply. You aren't wasting time trying to get like the foundation off and like wasting too much or anything like that. You have really, really good control with this. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump into the demonstration part of the video for you guys. I really hope that you enjoy. Okay, so for this particular foundation, what I always like to do with it is to kind of shake it up a little bit, just because it is super liquidy and you want to make sure that all of the ingredients inside are sticking together. So I just like to give it a good shake before I apply it. Okay, so specifically for this particular foundation, what I really, really love to do for the application is to use a flat top kabuki brush first. And then afterwards, whenever I am done applying my under eye concealer, I will kind of go over everything with a damp beauty sponge. So this one is from Makeup Geek. It's just the Makeup Geek foundation brush, but another really good one to use is actually from Morphe, and it's more of like a dome topped foundation brush, and this is the M439. So you can really use any type of foundation brush that you want, but for today's video, I'm going to be using this one. So I just apply it directly to the brush and then onto my skin in swiping motions like this, just to get the coverage. And then I will kind of pat around, and then I will sweep it in to the skin. I just think it gives such a beautiful, like, satiny finish. It's not too matte and it's not too dewy. So if you are super dry, you can use this foundation. If you are more on the oily side, you can use this foundation, especially if you have a really good primer that keeps your oil at bay. But I just love it. And they have so many different colors to choose from. And it literally doesn't feel like I'm wearing foundation right now. Like, I don't know how they did that. I mean, it literally says weightless, but it's so true. Like, this is probably one of very few foundations where I can wear all day long and it doesn't feel like I'm wearing any foundation. I always like to bring my foundation down onto my neck, just because I don't like to have that like really bad demarcation line. Woo, I got a hair on my nose. Oh my gosh, okay. But that's just a little tip. If you tend to get kind of streaks in your foundation whenever you use a brush, but you don't like to just use a damp beauty sponge, because a lot of times the damp beauty sponge will kind of just soak up all of your foundation, and it definitely gives you a lot more of a sheer look to your coverage. So that's why I like to use kind of both whenever I'm wanting more of a full coverage, but I want my foundation to look more flawless and smooth while it's sitting on the skin. I just like to apply this first because it makes it go on more thick, And then afterwards, I will kind of just blend stuff out with my damp beauty sponge just to make sure that everything is not streaky and it looks more like my skin. Okay, so now I'm just going to be going in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer for underneath my eyes. So I like to use this and kind of take it all the way down around that nose area just to get a little more coverage, especially whenever I am more hormonal and I get like that redness around my nose. And then I will just take my damp beauty sponge. This is the one from Real Techniques. And I will just dab that into my skin. Another thing that I love about this foundation is that it doesn't oxidize on my skin. So whenever I picked out my color really stayed true to my skin tone. It didn't get darker or anything like that, which I think is really nice in a foundation because, you know, as you go throughout the day, you don't want your foundation color to change. And if it does, it makes it a lot harder to pick out your color because it's like when you first apply it, it's going to look differently than whenever you wear it throughout the day. Okay, so now that my concealer is done, I am just going to take my damp beauty sponge and kind of go all over my face, really concentrating on the areas that might be a little more streaky because of the brush. So for me, that is in my nose area and my chin. Okay, so this is what the foundation and the concealer looks like whenever it is all applied to the skin. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and then at the end, I will show you guys what the finished product looks like. All right, you guys, that concludes this video. I really hope that you enjoyed watching, and if you get a chance to go to Sephora, I really recommend grabbing a little sample just so you can try it out for yourself, and I hope that you guys really enjoy the results that you see from this foundation. It has easily become my top favorite, and I am obsessed with it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!